All right, here it comes.
Oh. Okay. What's funny is I, for whatever reason, haven't heard the low one. Until right now. I've only heard the high one. Vanilla. Cooking MCs like a pound of bacon. Great lyrics.
Hi-hat in a souped-up tempo. I'm on a roll. It's time to go solo.
Rolling. Time to go solo like he was ever in a group. It's just been him.
It's just Vanilla Ice.
Nah, I just drove by.
You know who's going to get mad at this is iTunes.
Yeah, we can't put this on. Beach Road Avenue!
Driving Lamborghinis.
Jealous.
And Vanilla with a 9. All I heard was shells. I like how we're picking the same part. The avenue was packed.
With the Jacker's Jack. You know what I mean? We are natural hype people, Kelly. Oh, man. Welcome to Bitter Coffey, a comedy podcast from two friends who are just about over it. I'm Darek Fanton.
And I'm Kelly Coffey.
And welcome, everybody, to a love-filled episode of Bitter Coffey. We are recording on the most holiest of days, Catterday, here at the Bitter Coffey recording studio, and we're doing so directly after Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day was just a couple of days ago. So we're full of love and we're full of joy, and we hope that you all are having a wonderful weekend. Whether you have a Valentine or not, don't worry about that. Don't stress out about it. Your Valentine can be you. It can be any of your fuzzy friends that you may have in your household. It can be no one. You can boycott the entire day. All of those things are completely fine by us. Valentine's Day is a silly, silly concept, to be perfectly honest. I like the idea of telling the people we love them that we love them. Just do that all the time. You don't have to wait till Valentine's Day. Feel free to do that whenever you would like. Valentine's Day essentially to me means that I get significant discounts on candy this weekend.
That's the real draw.
Which is great. Everybody wins. That's what I'm in love with, is chocolate.
Do you want to know something funny?
Yes.
You might already know this.
I mean, it's the podcast, so maybe, wait till after, because I don't know if we want to start doing funny things now.
I'll write it down and slip it to you in a note.
Okay, sounds good. No, go ahead. Tell everybody.
Michelle and I had our first date on Valentine's Day.
Oh, you kids are adorable.
And, kind of realized it, but not really.
Oh, you didn't realize you were on the date at the time?
No. I mean, at the time, yes.
Okay.
But
gotcha.
when we set up the date,
oh,
I was like, Tuesday.
Accidental Valentine's Day date.
Because I was single, she was single, so we weren't really focused on, it's Valentine's Day.
Sure, it wasn't,
so
it wasn't
there we
registering.
Go. So then when I realized it seemed like pressure.
Well, now you're locked in.
Exactly.
Yeah, having that Valentine's Day date. This is like when my mom and I accidentally went to church on Good Friday once.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Well, again, much like the Valentine's Day situation, we're not super religious.
Okay.
But we tried. Mom tried. She was diligent about it. I went to Sunday school, did that kind of thing for here and there, but we weren't like every week churchgoers.
Right.
It was just occasional reinforcement that, if you sin, you go to hell.
Right,
and so we had gone to church on a random Friday because it felt like the right day to go. And as we're getting there, we're realizing how many people are there.
Parking lot was full.
Full parking lot.
Yeah, it's huge.
Wow, everybody had the same thought.
Because the only day bigger in the Catholic Church, well, I guess for all Christians or whatever, the only day bigger than Big Friday is 2 days later on Easter.
Good Friday?
Yeah. Because
Good Friday and then Easter?
Not every Friday.
Big Friday?
It's Good Friday. Did I say Big Friday?
Big Friday. I mean, really, that's what it is.
It is.
Regardless of what the official name of it is, it's Big Friday.
All those years of Catholic school, and it's just boiled down to Big Friday.
The priest is in the back jumping up and down trying to get hyped up. It's Big Friday. It's
hyped up for
Friday,
Super Sunday.
Super Sunday.
And then Saturday they have these doorbuster deals. At the church. Church is open early. They stay open late. It's crazy.
Get in line to get good seats, so you're going to get locked out here on Big Friday. Yeah, it's well, that's really cute that you guys had a first date on Valentine's Day. I guess love was in the air.
It was in the air at an Indian restaurant, and we were the only people there.
It wasn't the only thing in the air then.
Yep. No, it was good. It was good. And obviously things worked out.
Yeah. Awesome.
So,
cool.
Yeah. But
Well,
I will acknowledge our first date, and I will acknowledge that it's Valentine's Day. And I thought that maybe after we get married, I could maybe let the first date anniversary fall by the wayside. I won't allow myself to do that for some reason.
you hold on to those things that
I
are dear
do.
to you.
Why not? Why not? I've done worse. I've done worse today.
So we appreciate you all joining us again for Bitter Coffee. As we like to do early on in the episodes these days, if we have new iTunes reviews, we want to read them, and we do. We have a couple of new ones. I want to read this one in particular from Emily in Vermont. This is my friend Emily, who friend of the show, who's been writing in occasionally. Wanted to read her review. So 2 thumbs way up. I have had the pleasure of knowing Darek since high school, so I have enjoyed his sense of humor over the last 20 years. Thankfully, now other people have the chance as well. I met Kelly at the Women's March, so that was an auspicious introduction. Listen to these two. The podcast is funny, relevant, and really useful if you're looking to pick up a couch curbside.
Thanks, Emily.
Thanks, Emily.
We try to help.
We do try to help. We wanted to let everybody know early on in the podcast that if you wander around, you're bound to find some free snow couches out there. It's still a thing. You still pass them on the street every now and then. Real gross up here these days. So there's lots of snow. There's lots of ice. Very treacherous getting just from the car to the house anywhere you are these days. So be very careful out there, fellow Vermonters. It is nasty. Don't go outside.
But here's the thing. So you want to talk about dangerous going outside.
Ooh.
This is a segue, my friend.
Okay. Oh, man, I love when we have accidental segues.
Can we talk about the mountain lion guy?
Oh, yeah.
Because I think going from my front door to my car because there's ice on the sidewalk is dangerous.
Least of his problems, the ice. Yeah, let's get into it.
Holy cow.
For anybody who is not familiar with this story, and I was only recently hip to this story, a gentleman was hiking in the woods and was attacked by a mountain lion. Now, that's terrible. But in an incredible turn of events, there is a series of interviews with this gentleman, and he's explaining how this went down. And you were showing me this earlier. Mm-hmm. It's incredible. It's amazing, this guy's story about getting attacked by this mountain lion. And now, as an animal lover, I should say, earmuffs for anybody who would be offended by the fact that the mountain lion, in a shocking turn of events, got the worst end of this deal.
Yeah, he didn't win.
He did not win this fight with this gentleman who was on his own hiking in the woods. It's amazing, though, that he had the wherewithal to do anything.
So basically what happened was he was like running up a hill or something. He's like a trail runner.
Like you do.
And he saw this mountain lion. Now, most people, what would you do?
So let's see. Step 1, piss myself.
Right.
Yeah. Step 1, piss myself.
Yep.
Followed closely by step 2, number 2.
Yep.
On myself.
Yep.
And then I would attempt to run, though I'd made it much more difficult on myself at that point.
Screaming the entire time.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
100%.
Okay. Not this guy.
No.
So he stopped running, and he and the mountain lion kind of sussed each other out a little bit. And then the mountain lion started charging towards this guy.
Jeez.
And then the mountain lion got hold of the guy's forearm. So at that point, I'm going to say to myself, okay, well, this is over.
This is the end. This is the end of me.
The end of me
I've had a
in my
good
life,
run, both literally and figuratively.
But I'm going to bleed out in about 3 minutes.
Absolutely.
Not
I hope
guy.
he gets me in the neck.
Yeah.
That'll make it quick.
So this guy, the mountain lion has him by the forearm.
Right.
And he grabs a rock and starts hitting the mountain lion in the head with the rock. Then they tumble down the side of a mountain a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's 5 feet. I don't care.
No, you're now...
He fell down the side of a mountain with a mountain lion chewing on his arm.
Tumbling down a mountain with a mountain lion attached to your forearm.
And he then says that hitting this mountain lion in the head wasn't working because he didn't have the angles right.
Right, couldn't get a full swing, I believe was his words, yeah.
Because the mountain lion has his arm in his mouth.
This damn mouth.
So he had to, what was the phrasing that he used? He had to redistribute his weight.
Oh, he had to do a quick shifting of his weight.
Yeah.
Or a quick weight shift.
Yeah. In order to get the mountain lion's legs underneath his knee.
Yep.
And basically kind of wrestle him for a bit.
Yep.
And then was able to put his foot on the mountain lion's neck and then suffocated him.
Yep. Yes. So this gentleman managed to suffocate a mountain lion And then I think the most surreal part of the whole thing is in the interview that he's giving, and he's all torn up, his face is all ripped. Of course, he's had medical attention, so he's patched up, but he still clearly had gone a couple rounds with a mountain lion.
Yeah.
He is the chillest, most relaxed human being in telling this story, and it's so matter of fact. The weight shift thing was the thing that really got me, because he's like, I had to do a quick shift of my weight to try and get the right leverage. Like he's doing friggin' Tai Bo, or he's out doing some Tai Chi in the field. Just a quick weight shift. Just a quick shift of my weight to get the right leverage on the mountain lion who has grabbed onto my wrist with his jaws and is attempting to kill me.
Now, here's the thing. I like how he walks us through, well, this was plan A.
Right.
And
yeah, the rock.
That didn't work out.
The rock didn't work out.
And then plan B was met with some marked resistance. And so I went with plan C,
right,
which was to shift my weight,
shift,
continue fighting, and then figure out a way where He explained how he suffocated a mountain lion the way maybe I would explain, like, directions.
Yeah.
So you're
right.
You're gonna go. You're
Very
gonna go
procedural.
like 2 miles. You're gonna see signs for South Burlington. You're gonna take that exit.
Yep.
And you're going to go around this like weird kind of off ramp. You're going to see like a Staples on your left and then UVM on your right.
And then you're going to tumble down the hill with the mountain lion. And then you're going to shift your weight slightly and then suffocate it.
Yeah. So imagine what this guy, from this point forward, I give him so much credit, but like, how do you know? Like, he set the bar so high for himself. Like, what an awesome day is now. Because any day that he doesn't get into a fist fight with a wild animal,
he's won.
It's going to be like, oh yeah, my day's okay.
Could be worse.
Could be worse. Could have been my right arm today with a mountain lion.
Unbelievable. Good for people, because if plan A for me, which again was shit myself, didn't work, and then plan B, which after the mountain lion had grabbed me, which I believe was just throw up in its eye, if that didn't free me, I'm done. That's it. It's the end of Darek. Did
you hear how he trained for this?
No.
He adopted a cat recently.
Okay.
And he said that he learned, I question this. He said that he learned how to fight a mountain lion by playing with his cat.
Huh.
And he does refer to the mountain lion as a cat.
A cat. Yes.
In the
cat.
interview.
Yeah. So those are transferable skills, huh?
I guess so.
Who knew? So all these years, I haven't been just playing with my cats.
No.
I've been training to fend off a mountain lion.
You're preparing for battle.
I feel like my life has been really full then.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm ready. I'm not going to go trail running. Don't get me wrong.
No.
I'm not going anywhere near that area. But, good for me. I feel like I'm really well prepared then.
Yep.
So all you cat lovers out there, you're not just playing with your cat, not just keeping them busy during the day. You're training to fend off a mountain lion. Congratulations.
Keep on fighting.
Keep up the good fight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness. So, all right. So looking back at the last episode of the show, we talked a lot about the Super Bowl. That was the timely thing, as Valentine's Day is the timely thing now. We had talked about the Super Bowl the last episode, and we had talked about our Super Bowl party and the people that we would invite to a Super Bowl party. And very similar to the Desert Island Bands, we've gotten a significant amount of feedback about our party guests at the Super Bowl party, which... it's understandable. That was very spur of the moment, as is honestly 95% of what we do on the podcast. And so I was pretty happy. I was pretty happy with our guest list. I thought we had done a pretty good job. But you were concerned, I think. You came out of that feeling like, well, I don't know how people are going to feel about my guest list. But it sounds like those were unfounded fears.
I had said on our last show that I was concerned that Fat Al was going to be unhappy with my Aniston choice.
Right.
Nothing could be further from the truth.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, I was pretty excited. He's on board with Snoop, Abe Lincoln, and Aniston. So I felt good about that. It really helped me. It made me feel even more committed to my choices, because I felt, as you and I discussed, that Aniston, I was on the fence with Aniston.
Sure. But I think, again, I think she adds something. And I really enjoy the idea of Snoop and Abe Lincoln talking to each other. Like that conversation.
Kitchen? Yeah.
Just want to be a fly on the wall.
Yeah, they're like waiting for the pizza rolls to come out of the oven.
Abe Lincoln's just fascinated by the idea of pizza rolls and the oven.
Although, I cannot stop calling my wife Link Sizzle. It's just the best name.
Oh, Snoop, you've given us such a gift.
I didn't catch it when you said it.
Yeah. Link
Sizzle. Tell him Link Sizzle's here. Mm-hmm.
I love Snoop's whole vernacular. I think he's really added something to the culture. The thing that I really enjoyed was I had a nice conversation on Facebook Messenger with my buddy Tim.
What up, Tim?
Friend of the show, and asker of the Desert Island question, actually, the Desert Island band's question, and so it was appropriate that he commented this. So I'm just going to read quickly the back and forth that we had, and I haven't shared this with you, Kelly, but Tim, apropos of nothing, just said, by the way, Stephen King would absolutely bring a dip and eat the whole thing without sharing.
True.
Which I thought was true. Yep. I said he'd have it in a Tupperware that he'd never even put on the table. He would just be dipping chips in it the whole time. And he said, yeah, and Tim said the lid is that self-sticking saran wrap inexplicably. And I said, yeah, he'd open it and reopen it constantly. Yes, after each single dip, Tim said. And I commented for freshness, obviously. And for whatever reason, it kept going and going. And Tim finally said, I don't know why, but this whole concept of Stephen King as a sordid party guest has my imagination running. And really, that's what we try to do here on Bitter Coffee.
It's true.
We try to motivate you to have those deep conversations with yourself and have those deep thoughts about why why certain things happen and what you think about ideas. And Stephen King at a Super Bowl party is a fascinating concept.
I think he would probably have his name written in Sharpie on the side of the Tupperware, just like S. King.
That's a great addition. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, he would. Yeah. Well, I mean, he doesn't want to lose it.
No,
God forbid he's got to put it in the dishwasher, and then somebody gets it confused with somebody else's Tupperware. Yeah,
exactly.
No, you're 100%
well, this is warped
right.
now. It doesn't even work anymore.
Knew I shouldn't have brought my good Tupperware.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you have any other comments about any of our Super Bowl guests, we'd love to hear it. If you have your own list of 10 people you'd love to invite to a Super Bowl party, throw those up on social media. We'd love to share those around. Speaking of Tim, another, again, fantastic accidental transition. That's all we do here at Bitter Coffee.
It's what we do.
I saw Tim this last weekend because I was down in Boston for a concert. I went to see a mutual favorite band of Tim and I's, the band Ripe. Tim actually hit me to this band a few months back. If you have not heard of Ripe, if you have not caught their music, this is not part of the story, but just check them out. Check out the band Ripe. They do an incredible, funky rock thing. All, incredible musicians. Check them out. But that is not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about a couple of things about being in Boston for a concert. The first thing I want to talk about is going to concerts. I go to see a lot of live music. Live music is one of my passions. My mom has been in bands her whole life, and therefore I've been around live music my whole life. I go to a lot of shows, and I have a list of things that people need to stop doing at concerts or start doing at concerts. For whatever reason, when you go to live shows, you have to deal with people. And this isn't one of the things that I enjoy, but I'm willing to make the sacrifice because I want to see bands play live, to go and associate and be around large groups of people.
Fair enough.
There is no situation where a large group of people isn't going to annoy me, but particularly at concerts, I find it insufferable. And there's a few things. Let me list them off. First thing that pisses me off about going to concerts, people who don't care that they're there. And they can not care that they're there in one or two ways. They can, one, just stand there the whole time. I don't understand why you would go to see a concert, and you have opted into this experience in one way or another. You have gone to this show on purpose, and you will go to that show and you will stand and you will stare at the band, and you will not sing, and you will not dance, and you will not do anything different than if you were standing on a street corner with your headphones on, listening to the band.
Do they clap in between songs or anything?
Like they're forced to.
Okay.
Like open fingers, really non-enthusiastic, like I'm here, I might as well clap kind of a thing.
Right.
And that's it. I don't get you people.
From somebody who clapped at a funeral, I take offense to their passive clapping.
Exactly. You got to be passionate no matter what.
Absolutely.
I don't understand those folks. I just stay at home. Just stay at home and listen to your headphones. That's fine. In a similar vein, if you're going to go to a concert, and it's one thing if you go to a bar and there happens to be a band, and you're not really there for that. You're there to drink. You're there to talk to your friends. You're there to play darts, skee ball, whatever you're doing. Mm-hmm. That's fine. You want to do that and talk, I get it. But if you go to a concert venue, our show was at the House of Blues in Boston. The House of Blues, a music genre. There is a bar there, yes, but that venue is specifically for shows. We have a similar venue up here, Higher Ground. That is a concert venue. If you go to that, the whole point is that you are there to see a band. So maybe, just throwing this out there, maybe listen to the music and don't have like a full volume conversation of your own. at the concert. I don't understand you. Why are you there? Why did you go? Why did you pay money? You could have gone and drunk at any bar in the area.
It's the House of Blues, not the House of Booze.
Yeah, exactly. I
bet
bet
a great
there
name for a
is.
bar.
I'm sure there is a House of Booze in Boston. Go there.
Go there.
Go there and drink and hang out and talk with your friends. If you're going to have a full volume conversation at a show, just get out. Just leave. Just go to any other bar. Go to Buffalo Wild Wings and don't watch a game and talk. That's fine too. Just don't ruin my concert going experience by blabbering on to your friends at the show. Lastly, I had a very specific experience at this Ripe show that I've never encountered before. And I don't know exactly what was going on, but it was the most distracting thing I've ever experienced at a show. We set up shop at the House of Blues in what Tim called Old Man Corner, which I thought was a great name for this area of the venue. Basically, it's near the front of the show, but it's off to the side by the merch table and the exits, and it never really fills up, but you can basically stand behind everyone and still be close to the stage, so you're getting a good experience at the show, but you're also not surrounded on all sides by humanity. It was great. So we're in Old Man Corner, we're doing our thing, we're dancing, we're singing, we're into the band. Directly to my left, let's say 2 feet to my left and maybe 3 feet in front of me, there is a gentleman who, through the entire show, is facing me. Or at least facing the person directly next to me. And dancing and singing, and like he's clearly invested in the show. He likes the band. He's a fan. He didn't watch any of the show.
He was watching you.
Well, listen, I don't know. Maybe he was.
Yeah.
I'm willing to be big enough to say, hey, maybe he's just checking me out, and that's great. Good for him.
Sing and dance.
Make a move though at some point. If you're gonna do it, do it.
We're 6 songs in.
Exactly.
Do
so
something.
the whole show, he is facing me, and again, like basically 2 feet to my left, staring at me. And he's facing me and dancing and chatting with his friends, but singing the song lyrics out. It was the most distracting thing.
You didn't enjoy yourself.
No, I did not.
My God.
I basically eventually had to sort of shift to the right so that he was just out of my eye line, so I couldn't see him, because it was so distracting to have someone facing and like dancing at me.
At you.
For the whole show. I don't know what he was doing. Listen, you experience music in the way that makes sense to you and the way that you are happy to experience it. Good for you. But, get out of my sight line. I don't need you dancing at me the whole show.
Maybe you inspired him.
Weird. Maybe I was his concert muse, and he was seeing how much fun I was having.
Right.
Not that the band wasn't having a great time, too. Probably would work just as well. But I get it. Maybe he just wanted to hang out and dance it out with the rest of the crowd. Good for him.
Take it out on the dance floor.
My goodness. People at shows, get your shit together.
This is one of those instances... And I think you know this about me. I can't see out of my left eye.
Right.
It's just there for show. This is one of those instances where people are like, is it really tough only having eyesight in one eye? Mm-hmm. Nope. Because I wouldn't have seen them.
Yeah.
I would have seen like a weird shadow that looked like maybe somebody dancing.
You would have said, here's the point. Here's
super
it.
far away.
This has been it the whole time.
Yeah. It's kind of like a superpower sometimes because I just don't see stuff. So
that would have been perfect. No, the only other thing that I think I hate worse than any of those things is the people who won't stay put at their spot. So House of Blues is probably, listen, I'm terrible at estimating numbers of people. There were thousands of people there. Mm-hmm. It is fair to say. It's a 3-story place. There's tons of people. We're down on the floor. And for whatever reason, there's the people who want to be at the front, but also want to drink the whole time.
Ugh.
And so they have to constantly go back and forth to the bar.
Bring a flask like a normal person.
Figure something out. A Camelback under your shirt, your jacket. Listen, that's doable. There was a particular guy and a girl, not together, separately, that had to have gone past us, and again, directly past us at the show. I don't know, 12 times each, back and forth to the bar. And they're not getting big beers, they're getting tiny little drinks.
So annoying.
And then every 15 minutes, they're pushing past and then pushing back and then pushing past and pushing back. Listen, I won't say that there weren't at least a couple of times that I absolutely elbowed the crap out of their arm when they're drinking it when they came back through. You
lost your balance.
I stumbled. I was trying to
dancing.
I was going for my phone to take a photo, and I just accidentally hit their arm, and they spilt the drink all over the drunk person in front of me.
Oops.
Listen, mea culpa.
As a dancer, your moves are unpredictable.
Right.
And that's where you want them to be.
When the music moves me, it may also move your arm to spill your drink.
Exactly.
Don't
Rhythm
do
is
that.
a dancer. So, and sometimes
it's your soul's companion,
spill
Kelly.
Your drink.
Exactly. I can't. Just don't do that at shows.
Feel it everywhere.
Find your spot and stick to it. Anyway, the show was great. If you're following me on social media, God help you, but also you've seen a lot of Ripe stuff recently. It was great. It was a great time. However, getting there meant I also had to drive in Boston.
Ugh, it's the worst.
You and I have been to Boston a few times. You have mercifully volunteered to drive and have had the experience of driving through Boston. Where we go, to the Garden, it's not too bad. You're in the city for a little while, but it's not terrible.
It's like barely in Boston.
It's really you're barely in Boston for any time.
Yeah.
You get off the highway, you're parking, you're done, essentially. Getting to Tim's place where I was staying, I had to basically get off the highway and then weave my way through Boston, which was weird. And Tim said, listen, you're going to come down here. There's no good way to get over here. You're going to be in the city. So from the highway to his house was 45 minutes.
Oh my God.
And it was, 8 miles or something. In the time that it took me to get off the highway and get to Tim's, I was nearly killed at 2 separate roundabouts where the rules were completely absent. I had no idea what lane was where. There were no lines. The roundabouts were each 2 or 3 lanes, but there were no lane markers. It was a nightmare. That happened. I was very nearly rear-ended to the point where somebody had to swerve out of the way. I was at a stoplight. I was fully stopped at a red stoplight, and someone behind me swerved out of the way to avoid me because they otherwise would have destroyed me at this light.
Holy cow.
And then I nearly killed a goose.
Well,
all of these things happened in the very short period of time that I was from the highway to Tim's house. The worst part is I got to Tim's place and I said I had nearly killed a goose, and he went, "Oh, down by Riverside there by the river." I was like,
so it's like a thing.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh yeah, those geese are menaces." I was like, "What is
so
wrong
it's like the
with
dangerous
Boston?
part of town where all the geese are."
Right. No, not the inner city, not Southie, the area where the geese are. That's where you really got to look out.
Yep.
Make
Lock
sure
your doors.
Lock your doors. definitely lock your doors. I'm fucking goose jacked. So just stay out of Boston. That's the bottom line.
But despite your 3-pronged approach to concert going,
yes,
and your near miss or a goose's near miss with death, you had a good time.
I did.
Good.
I did. I had a good time. It was fun. We rocked out, met some great people.
Nice.
It was really, really fun.
Nice.
I hope they come back. They've played Higher Ground before. I hope they come back to Higher Ground. I will definitely check them out. So we wanted to roll back into the random question, and we had a random inspiration of random question that we haven't really talked a whole lot about, but you had brought up right before the show. And I'm curious, give us the random question. Give us the random question that you'd come up with quickly.
Okay. Random question, and I don't know why I thought of it. I think it's because I've been spending the better part of this past week singing part of this song from these artists. Mm-hmm. So the random question that I thought of and then frantically grabbed a pen and piece of paper to write down before I forgot it was, say you and I are in a Milli Vanilli scenario.
Okay.
In which our CD skips.
Yep.
And we're found out that we're hoaxes. One of us runs,
right,
and the other one just keeps dancing.
So, gotcha.
Which are we?
Who's
are we
Milli and who's Vanilli?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which one of us is a dancer, and which one of us is a runner?
I love it. Okay, so do we know who ran off the stage? Do we know if Milli or Vanilli was the one who And for anybody who doesn't know the story, again, what are you doing with your life? But really, Milli Vanilli was a band back in the 80s, 90s?
Yeah.
And they were found out that they didn't actually record really any of their music. They had essentially used studio artists to sing all of their songs, and then they just performed
who were like guys
tracks.
in their 50s.
Yeah, were long time studio artists, and they took all the credit. Which at the time
I was like, oh my God, how can those old men sing like that? Now I'm like, no, it seems perfectly reasonable.
It's perfectly reasonable.
If you don't know what we're talking about, this is my suggestion to you. Hit pause.
Yep.
On this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all you need to do is just go on YouTube and just search for Milli Vanilli skip fail.
Skip fail,
which is a great term.
It is a great term. I do that all the time when I'm trying to walk on the ice outside. A lot of skip fails.
Tons of skip fails. You know who didn't have a skip fail? Mountain Lion guy.
He had a roll win, not a skip fail.
Yeah. I would say if anybody in that scenario had the skip fail, it would be the mountain lion.
He had the opportunity.
Yep.
When they were sussing each other out, he could have gone the other way. He chose not to.
He was the dancer in the scenario.
Just
kept on dancing. All right, let's see. Let me see if I can play it for you.
Here it comes. Girl, you know it's. Girl, you know it's.
80,000 people. Girl, you know it's.
All right,
So, we hope that we have caused you for the rest of your day, as we have been doing for the entire morning, and clearly as you've been doing for days. Girl, you know it's. Girl, you know.
Over and over again. I can't stop.
It was his reenactment, and I believe that's from Behind the Music, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, now there's a show.
Which was a wonderful VH1 show, rest in peace, that was all about Behind the Music. It was about the stories of these artists in these situations, and that may be one of the most famous moments where
it's fantastic.
He's reenacting it in the interview. Girl, you know it's. Girl, you know it's. 8,000 times.
Hand movement.
Yeah,
and with it. They don't understand what skipping means. So
I miss Behind the Music. Behind the Music was one of those inspired shows that somebody had a great idea and it was not complicated. They were like, why don't we just do basically mini music documentaries about particularly famous artists or situations or scenarios?
You can YouTube them.
Oh, yeah, you can YouTube them. Check them out. I'm surprised they haven't done, maybe they have done like a box set or gift set or something like that of the DVDs or something. It's a great show. There's like moments, the Girl You Know It's moment for sure.
Fantastic.
The TLC one where they're talking about Left Eye burning her boyfriend's house down.
Turn on Channel 5.
Turn on Channel 5.
Lisa burn the house down.
We didn't even talk about that.
Nope, we didn't.
And we both knew it.
Nope.
I
say pretty often too.
Lisa burned the house down.
Turn on Channel 5. That's great.
So yeah, oh man, I miss Behind the Music. Cribs was the other show that, jumping over to MTV, which you mentioned is coming back. They're gonna do Cribs again?
I think so. That's what I heard.
Oh my god, I don't know how I feel about it coming back, but those were some great episodes. Bentley, I think, made out best. Bentley and Cristal made out best from Cribs because those were always the two things that everybody had to show off.
You're right.
All the rappers and the producers all had to show off the fact that they had a Bentley.
Yep.
And then they had Cristal in their fridge. Except Redman.
He kept it so real.
The Redman episode of Cribs is to this day one of my favorite TV moments of all time.
It was an apartment that he lived in.
Yeah.
Where he was... And my God, I haven't seen that in like 25 years. I remember he was really proud of his screen door.
Yes. Yeah.
And he showed that off a bit.
Yep.
And then he showed off I think it was a Nintendo 64.
Yes. Yeah.
And how there was people
gaming it up.
There were a group of people just basically sleeping in a room that could have been a living room.
It was essentially a flop house. It was basically a flop house that he ostensibly owned. Who knows?
No, it was great.
Yeah.
And what was the one thing that he pointed something out that he was his kind of like his point of pride in his home?
Yeah, it was like the like cereal on top of the fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, so I keep my cereal?
Absolutely. And the cameraman went for it.
Oh yeah, he was like, let's get
shot of the cereal
close-up of that, get a pan of that.
Yeah.
I want to believe that was legitimate. I want to believe that was not a troll before trolling was a thing. I want to believe that is really where he lived. And coming from Redman, I buy it.
Absolutely.
I 100% buy it.
Absolutely. I loved it.
It was so great. I miss that show. I hope they do bring it back, but I hope that it's good.
I feel like I'm going to fall down this behind the scenes rabbit hole later on today.
Behind the Music.
Just gonna watch one episode.
Inside the Actor's Studio. Oh God, yeah, you're gonna end up. Oh, I just need one.
Yep.
I just need
just one more. No, I'm fine. I can quit anytime. I recently, and I mean, I think it would go beyond a binge. I think it would take over my entire weekend. I did binge something recently, and I don't know if you've watched it yet. Have you watched Russian Doll yet?
No, I've heard of it. I have not watched it.
I say do it.
Okay.
Anything that Amy Poehler does, I'm a fan.
Yeah, she's great.
And she's one of the producers. I believe she's one of the writers.
Okay.
And so Michelle started watching it, and I thought, I can't get into this because it's, without giving anything away, she just kind of relives the same day over and over again.
Oh, okay.
And stuff like that bugs the hell out of me.
All right. So is it like Groundhog Day or?
It is.
Okay.
Sort of. Don't get mad. I've never seen Groundhog Day.
I
Stop.
should have known.
I know.
I should have known. Stop. Never mind. Forget it.
Send all your hate mail directly to
Groundhog
Darek.
Day.
But I know the premise of Groundhog Day. It's that
right.
It's the same day repeated over and over again. I think this is more clever than that. Despite not having Andy McDowell in the cast. But
you know the cast of the movie, however, you've never seen it. Interesting.
Right. I mean, I think it's been kind of force-fed to me through, whatever.
Network
anyway, by episode 2, the credits run, and I do whatever I do when I need to watch the next episode. God damn it! So it was with reluctance that I flung headfirst into episode 3, and then I just couldn't stop. Yeah. There's 8 episodes, and they're done, and they're wonderful.
Nice.
And I cannot wait for season 2. I don't want to talk about it too much.
No. That's fine.
Yeah,
don't
wait
spoil
until
it
you've
for yourself.
watched it.
But it's 8 episodes, and then that's great. See,
it's
that's
done.
perfect.
Yeah,
awesome.
Left me hanging. So
definitely
I mean,
have to check that out.
Knowing how shows like this work, I have to wait 3 years.
It may never come back.
For season 2.
Yeah.
But now I can parlay that angst into my waiting for Mindhunter season 2.
Oh, Mindhunter.
It's the best show ever. Well, it's one of the best shows ever. Anyway.
We're watching Counterpart right now, which is the show that we're committed to. It's on Stars. Anybody seen Resident Evil? That's what we say every single time we say Stars. Stars. It's J.K. Simmons. It's basically alternate universe.
Is that short for Just Kidding Simmons?
I mean, it is now.
Okay. J.K.
J.K. Simmons. Amazing. No, it's a alternate universe show. Essentially, there was a portal discovered between a portal that happened and was discovered between our universe. Yeah, you're already out. Yeah. For those of you who are into this kind of thing, it's the portal was discovered, and then at that point in time, the universe is branched off, and so everyone who was already alive has a shared history up to that point, and then on one side they're living a life that is different than on the other side of the portal.
Okay, so not very different from Russian Doll.
No,
seriously,
okay,
it's not.
Okay.
It's really not.
Now I definitely have to check out
you
Russian
have
Doll.
to. Yeah,
okay,
just take the day.
All right, sounds good. We'll absolutely do that. And yes, Counterpart. I'm excited to get through the rest of it because it's on Stars. We're gonna get rid of Stars soon, so we have to get through it. Stars. Well, we appreciate you all listening to Bitter Coffee. As always, you can reach out to us on Gmail, bittercoffeepod@gmail.com. Send us a note. You can also find us on Twitter, Bitter Coffee Pod, Facebook, Bitter Coffee Pod. You can get Kelly at Flouncy Traeger on Twitter. I am Moby-Diculous over on that super fun platform. Hit us up on Instagram. That is where we're spending a lot of our time these days. Our intro and outro music is Hold Me Down by John Worthy and the Bends. Our maintenance technician this evening has been Michelle Pilardi. Hair and makeup by Hannah Patnode Fanton. And we will see you all next time.
Stay fresh, cheese bags.